So what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 161 of Value Town. I'm ChanManV, and I've got Gaara here, Purple here. What's up, guys?
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
New cards, exciting.
New cards.
Exciting times.
Don't get too excited. You're like, new cards, really exciting times. Yeah, this is the.
I haven't really seen any super powerful cards yet, so it's like,
what? Really?
But at the same time, from like the game standpoint, powerful cards are terrible. Just like play against like terrible or powerful cards, like say just like Kelisef on 2 or stuff like that. It's just like, wow, this is absolutely busted. There's nothing I can do to beat that.
Yeah, I don't think we're looking.
I'm crossing my fingers for a low power level set where things aren't busted and we get to play some Hearthstone. Like,
well, I mean, so far I think we've seen. I mean, we're gonna get into it in a second, but we're like already jumping right into the cards. But I don't know. Some of the cards I've seen so far have been like that. They've just been subtle, and little things that don't really catch people's eye right from the get go. But I think are cool designs. Like things that they did. We'll talk about it in just a second, but. Before we do, why don't we talk a little bit about all the non-card reveals just so that we can just focus on card reveals the rest of the way. This is the end of the season. We always start off like the show. I feel like the last 3 weeks we've started the show talking about laddering and things. So we might as well continue it, giving it this is the last week of the season. And how's it looking right now? Is it notice anything that's different than last month? Or pretty much the same kind of grind?
People are still playing Priest.
Wow, okay. Well, they'd be stupid not to, right? So
apparently there's a bug again, like it occurred like since yesterday or something, where people just start gaining very low amount of ranks again. Like you lose a low amount of ranks, but you gain another amount of ranks. It's like I've seen people on Reddit and comparing that. No, not on Reddit, on Twitter, and other people say they feel the same. Like a lot of people come up with the same with that complaint.
So it's hard to climb right now.
I know.
Yeah, it's very, very hard.
At the end of the month, like when you're like top 100 or top 200, it's 7 ranks a game, 8 ranks a game.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's like
that's what you should expect.
The start of the year.
Yeah,
dude, I'm around 400, and I feel like 3 days is not enough to get out.
That's probably true. That's pretty tough. You need like a 70% win percentage or something like that.
Last 2 months, I think the first month in January took me about 45 hours in the last 4 days to get about where I wanted, and last month it took me 51 hours in the last 3 days. Like it is trend fighting. You're just moving, just
grind. It's like literally very, very the essence of grinding. It's just getting a little by little. So where are you guys at right now? Exactly. What rank?
100-ish on EU and NA.
Okay, you're striking distance. That's fine.
I don't even know if I'm going to be competing for the end. Like, I have like this Zalay syndrome where like I'm currently in contention for last call, but I really just don't want to do it. So,
what do you mean? You just don't even want to continue being in?
Literally, just like I don't know how I'm like on the leaderboard for last call. I just
you are doing well point wise. Why wouldn't you be? What do you mean? It's like self-explanatory.
I didn't go into the year like thinking about last call whatsoever.
Yeah, but
and now it's like 3 months in, and I'm like probably like keep doing this and like have a chance for last call, but I just don't want to. The grinding just sucks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've always been like that, right? Like you've always been. You'll have moments where you're like super crazy motivated, and it shows, and then
I'll take 2 months off. No, this game sucks.
That's the purple cycle right there. But it's working for you though. So I mean, why change? It worked for you last year, right? And
just trying to do my thing and be like getting a top 50, right? Like just want to. My objective has always been to do as little as possible and qualify for prelims.
Yeah,
it's just like the efficient way of doing things.
Yeah, I think the frustrating thing right now is probably why our purple is also demotivated. Also, for me personally, is you can't camp. Like I can be top 20 legend on all 3 servers at the same time, and I don't have a guaranteed top 100, even 3 days before the end of the season, which is ridiculous to think about. Like you go into the game with the mindset, I have to play on the last day of the season. And all the good players know that you can just low roll on the last days and then you just don't get a finish. And that is so depressing. It really makes you depressed.
So where are you right now, Gaara? Like on the three servers?
Yesterday I was top 20 Asia and top 100 NA and Europe.
Nice.
And today I was low rolling. I literally lost almost every game on Asia. So I dropped from 20 to 40.
Oh,
and I wanted to win one more game. And then I lost like a mirror to Stonehill Defender, giving him Lich King giving him Death Grip, and Death Grip pulling Nizov, which was the last minion in my deck. And that's why I lost. And then after that, I lost 12 games in a row.
Oh my god. What? You lost 12 games in a row after that? So what are you now?
I'm assuming you probably like
Holy
got unlucky on some of those, but I'm assuming
called
you
tilting.
also got tilted
That's
and
called
lost
tilting.
because you were tilted on some of those.
Yeah. It's not even, it's not like tilted. It's like you just stop caring, you know? It's not like
that's called tilting,
like,
dude.
Whatever.
That's called tilting.
Yeah.
It's
like I don't do like misplays, but I don't play like super like 90% or something. So I guess it's like tilt in a way.
Well, a tilt I think at y'all's level is playing at 90 or 80%.
Everyone plays worse, dude.
Yeah, and the tilting is just when you start playing worse for emotional reasons, right? So, okay, so 12 in a row. What are you now? We're talking about Asia?
Yeah, I'm still 100 on NA in Europe. I just don't play on them because I don't see any point. It's crazy. Like I get top 50 on Europe and I go to sleep. I wake up. I lost 30 ranks. I just don't see any point in like being above 100 at all. Like you basically have to play on the last day. So I'm playing Asia because Asia you still also can't camp, but you lose the least amount of ranks. So you only lose like 20 ranks. So you basically play Asia because it's also the first server that resets.
Yeah.
So it makes the most sense. So
cool. Well, you're sitting in a pretty good position.
From like
in all three.
I was like 30ish, and then I dropped to like 200 in 4 days, I think. Like, I know what Gaara's talking about, like the
just not playing, and you dropped to 200.
Yeah, from 30 to 200 in about 4 days. So.
Wow. Okay.
So what's the point in even being 30? That's what I mean, right? Like.
Well, it keeps
you. Might as well just wait till the last day, conserve your energy.
Yeah, exactly.
The last day
yeah, but if you wait till the last day, you'll be out of range. I mean, like we just talked about the grind of it. So
if you don't actually decay so much when you're in like the 200 to 300.
Exactly.
So you just chill there, and then you just make your push last day, and you try to high roll some people.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's super frustrating because you
it's
can
super
just low
stressful
roll
too, man. It's like if you get on any kind of low rolling streak on the last day, it's like crazy stressful, right? So
I think it's a good thing. It just I don't think the ladder is bugged or anything. I think it's just a very competitive place.
Yeah.
There's just like a lot of really, really good players. There's a lot of really, really good players of similar level. This is what ends up happening. People play, people win, then someone gets bumped.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah.
Like it's really good that there's a healthy competitive. There's so many good players now.
Yeah, that's true. And given what we have with the ladder structure, that's just kind of how it is, right? So maybe one day we'll have some kind of little tournament system that might be a little bit more fun or I don't know, less taxing, like at the end of season.
2.5 years ago, and like it was so easy to like just top 25 or whatever. It's just like, yeah, I mean, 20 people in the world that are like even close to good as me. I'm going to play the last day. Even at low roll, I'm going to get there. And that sense of guarantee no longer exists because everyone is good now.
Yeah. It's just, that's just how it is.
3 years ago, everyone was bad. And like Gaara's like me, we've been playing the game forever. And we remember these times where we'd be able to just get our top 50 or get our top 25, whatever, because everyone was bad.
Dude, the first time I got rank 1 on A, I didn't have a single legendary card. Just play Face Hunter, Wolf Rider Face.
Dude, that was a long time ago. Holy shit.
But that's what
this is crazy long ago.
It was easy.
Yeah. But this is, of course, in a different environment now. Well, anyways, we've still got 3 more days left, and it's always going to be an exciting time at the end. Be sure you guys finish your rank as high as you can so that you can get a head start on that the 4 rank drop off that we have at the end of the season. Also, a reminder: complete your daily quest right now because you get free packs for every time you complete a quest, a free Kobold and Catacombs.
I got the Watch and Learn. I got 2 packs from that, dude.
Me too.
I didn't have to
that
play a
was one of
single
my-
game of Hearthstone. I got 2 packs, and I opened 2 golden epics.
What? Oh, that's
900
nice,
packs
dude.
for doing nothing. 900 dust for doing nothing.
Okay,
It was
all right,
stacked.
man. That's nice, dude. Yeah, that was one of mine too. I was saving up, right? You got to save up those quests on the very first day. So I had 3 of them, and yeah, one of them ended up being the Spectate. Good stuff. And Blizzard's giving us more stuff again. We talked about it maybe the last couple weeks. We're seeing a lot more free stuff, and we actually even have an appreciation thread on Reddit today. A Blizzard appreciation thread for adding free rewards. It's like amazing.
Happens, man.
It's amazing, man. But anyways, I know a lot of people are waiting for us to talk about cards, so let's just dive into the cards. All right, we've got a lot of cards announced this last week. Obviously, the big one was on Monday, and Frodan and Peter Whalen had that stream, where they were going through the first, I think it was like 9 cards. And then since then, we've seen 6 cards per day. So we've got over 20 cards to talk about today. But I want to start off before we get into the individual cards and just kind of ask you guys what you think about just some of the design themes that we've seen that's going to be, at least unique to the Witchwood. So things like Echo, keyword, Rush keyword, and then the whole odd even thing. Start with you, Purple, given that we haven't heard from you yet. And what do you think about all the three of these things?
So, like a very powerful control tool.
Mm-hmm.
However, Hearthstone have been for a very, very long time been all oriented towards tempo. And Echo, for the ability of a card to have the word Echo printed on it, means it loses stats for the mana cost.
Yeah.
Hunter has like a 2/1 Echo.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, it's
2/1. It's
cards
2/1.
are just understated, basically.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
That's a rush card. I was thinking of it. But the Echo cards are like understated, which goes against tempo. Sure, you can generate value out of but lose tempo. So
yeah, we're you're cutting out a lot.
Some control tools, but
yeah.
I don't think Echo will be a playable ability unless costed minion or a fair statted minion for the cost, which I don't think I've seen so far out of any of the Echo cards. Rush, on the other hand, all the games are so board centric and tempo oriented. A guy that just comes on the board and just kills something and doesn't die, in the theme of what Hearthstone has been for that same long time.
Yeah.
Value trading with a minion.
Yeah.
Like their guy dies, your guy doesn't die. I'm ahead this much. I'm ahead even like a 2/3. I have a 2/3 on the board. That means I can kill or help kill something else. And all of a sudden I have a mana advantage because of this. So I think specifically the warrior rush card was 2/5 with it gains attack when I attack.
No, it's a 1 mana, right? 1/3. Yeah, you might.
Any rush minion that can just take a value trade will be, I think, competitive.
Okay.
Charge is so irrelevant current meta game anyways.
Okay.
It's all about just Gaara was talking about Wolf Rider. Let's look at Wolf Rider. Reason Wolf Rider is not played. Value trade on anything.
Yeah, you can't value trade on anything. Yeah, that's true. Hey, you're cutting out a little bit. I wonder if
it's a 3/3 rush for 3.
Yeah.
Borderline you killed her 2-drop and your guy sticks.
Right.
And I think the ability can be very strong in the sense of what Hearthstone is now.
Okay. Hey, why don't we try to have you do push to talk, dude? You're cutting out again. We were talking about this earlier. But Gaara, what's your take on just the Echo and Rush and odd and even? I mean, we're seeing a few more now in terms of Echo and Rush, so getting a better picture compared to what we did last week.
I think this is very interesting what Purple says. I think I also agree with the Echo cards. They just don't seem that powerful yet, the ones they have shown. only maybe like the Warlock legendary one that might see play. So the Echo ones are just, they will just probably not be competitive. At least the ones we've seen yet. Because of the power creep that we have in Hearthstone. Rush is on paper extremely powerful and would see play for sure. I like to compare it to Death Rattle. The way why we played like Shredder in so many decks was because they can trade 2 for 1. But I think Rush is stronger because you decide the trades, and Death Rattle gives your opponent a counterplay. I can play a Shredder and you can silence it. You decide the trades, but usually because of the amount of stats a Shredder has, you play it anyways because it will usually trade 2 for 1. And Rush can trade 2 for 1 because it has charge, and the opponent has to. So it's powerful in that sense.
Yeah.
But if that would be powerful, we would probably have seen Shamans being played more. Like, because Shaman has Fire Elemental, Blaze Caller, a lot of powerful tools that way, but Shaman is unplayable. And I think the reason for that is that Hearthstone is quite in a broken state where we play like, Lecky and get a Void Lord on turn 6. I don't think Rush cards that have like just above average stats could compete in an environment where we play turn 6 Void Lords. And similar with, other decks, similar decks like that. It's just because the curves are too powerful. You don't get to play like minion trade stone. And if you don't have like a meta like that, then if you don't have like super overpowered rush minions, it's like not strong enough. That's how I feel about it.
Right. Okay.
It really depends on, because a lot of powerful cards are rotating out. Barnes is rotating out, but on the other hand, Spiteful still stays in the game. And if you have like a bunch of Spiteful decks, you're not gonna rush anything with your like, I don't know, Yetis.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we're having some issues with Purple's mic here, so we're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be right back, and then we'll get talking about cards here. But I just don't want him being like losing like half his speech. That's gonna be really, really tough moving forward. So we'll be right back here. Oh, I think we're gonna be right back. Hold on. Let me do this.
I told you my Discord fucking bugs, man. The yellow.
Back. All right, guys, we're back. Gosh, that was. I was thinking that we had to redo like all the videos and stuff. Yeah, no, we just had to redo audio. This should be much better, right? Purple, you sounding good now? Sounding good?
I mean, that's for you to know. I
audience,
can't
you sound a lot
mine.
better now. Like I can actually pick up like his entire speech now. Okay.
I've had just so many troubles with Discord over like.
You know what's funny? It's
since
like,
it came out,
it's like the opposite.
I don't know why.
It's like the opposite for me. Like Skype's been the worst for me. But anyways, we figured it out. So why don't we kind of move? Oh, actually, I wanted to ask you guys about the odd even thing. Like Purple, like the odd even. You a fan of any of that stuff, or is that just like accessible, like more for the accessible crowd?
I think there will be maybe 1 or 2 niche decks that will be using the abilities. It's definitely not going to be like a wide stroke across the board. We're all building our decks like this kind of thing. For example, like a class like Paladin, just to the nature of Call to Arms, if you play Paladin, you got to play Call to Arms. If you play Call to Arms, you can't play Audio. So there's a bunch of like classes that are rolled out, but like the ability of having like an upgraded tank up and warrior from the start of the game, absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I think there's going to be like these niche, either aggro or super control-y, nothing in the middle, niche decks that are able to utilize it. But the broad stroke of Hearthstone is that it is the middle are the most popular decks. All the mid-range stuff has been the soul of Hearthstone for multiple years, and those decks will not be touching these abilities because these mid-range decks rely on curving out. It's very hard to curve out when you have either only odds or only evens. So,
well,
but like
you better hope to use your hero power in between.
Right, a super aggro deck, I think you can like say, I guess maybe Paladin, maybe I was wrong with them. But like if you can just jam like a million ones in your deck and it'll make your called arms worse, but you can use like a bunch of ones to curve out on 2. If you have like 12 1-drops, you can regularly expect to go 1-drop into 1-drop, 1-drop. Just because, like, well, I mean, that's just how having that many 1-drops works. But those types of decks are just not going to go late. Aggro will be like odds, right? Because like you can't play aggro without playing 1-drops in your deck.
In general, you can only curve out good with odd, not with even.
Right. Mainly because like odds, if you add 2 odds, you can create an even curve, but you can't ever add evens to create an odd curve.
This math lesson's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if you have evens, you only have 2 mana cards, 4 mana cards. You can never complete your 3 mana turn optimally.
Yeah, so
and
like
if you can't complete a 3 mana turn optimally, you can't be an aggro deck.
Right. Yeah, and also the hero power just fits well, right, in the even slots too. So when you can't play a card, you just play hero power, and you're at least using some of your mana efficiently instead of wasting at least 1 or 3 every time. Yeah.
Warrior, like for example, you look at Deadman's Warrior now, right? You float so much mana in your early game. Like, if you don't draw exactly Acolyte of Pain, you're not doing anything on turn 3. On turn 2, well, you're gonna play Dry Whisker armor, then gain 0 armor, gain 2 armor, 2/2 heal 2. Like these are turns where you're just hero powering anyways, and those are the type of decks that can utilize that like upgraded hero power for sure.
All right, so what about control then? Just looking at the opposite, right? Are we talking evens are going to be better or odds? You think? Just depends on the card. So I guess.
I think control is the type of deck that it doesn't really care about mana curve at all. So it's just what tools are available to their class. Like, for example, like looking at like, if you look at Druid, not really a control class, but you look at Wildgrowth. If you're gonna play a slower Druid deck, you gotta play Wildgrowth. Yeah. So I'm starting to. You also need to play Swipe. So all of a sudden, if you look at Druid, because of the tools available, the important cards are evens. So you're just kind of ruling out odds regardless of like what you're trying to do. But it goes class to class depending on what tools can accompany this odd even mechanic.
Yeah. It'd be hard not to play Doomsayer in some of these control decks, so I would think that maybe even would have a slight better usage in terms of control.
I think Doomsayer is a card that's like borderline playable in every single control deck right now.
Right.
And doesn't quite make the cut, but like once you start fitting out all the odds of your deck, Doomsayer's probably a pretty good card to include in almost every single deck.
Right. Okay, well, let's get into the new cards. We started off the week again with just a stream session with Peter and Frodan, and we started with a couple. Let's see, what do I have here? I have the 2 Druid cards that have, the apple and this whole forest or tree type of theme to it. Makes sense that it would be a Druid type of theme. So we have a 2 mana spell, Witchwood Apple. That's a common card. Add 3 2/2 tree ants to your hand. It's the same tree ants that we see, just with other Druid cards.
Which costs 1.
Yeah, which actually costs 1. So that's pretty
so it's actually just force of nature, but strictly better, right?
yeah.
Because you can just space out the mana. You can
by
just
one.
Space out the mana by
it's 1 cheaper. It's actually.
No, it's worse because you pay more mana, right?
No,
no, you don't.
No, it's 5 mana.
It's 5 mana.
Each treants is 1 each, right? So you have 3 times 1 is 3.
They cost
plus
1
2.
mana?
Yeah. They're not 2 each, Gara.
Yeah.
I mean, if they
so
cost
it's just
mana,
force of nature, but like you can space it out into your mana curve however you want, including on turn 5 be the exact same as force nature. But on every other turn, it's just better, right? You can play this on turn 2, and then turn 3 you play 3 2s.
Yeah, it's extra cheaper. It's funny. Totally.
It's just strictly better force nature.
it's actually a really good card if they cost 1 mana.
Yeah, they do. They should cost. I mean, that's all the treants, like living mana and force nature. They all cost 1.
Yeah. So it's definitely a card that you would automatically think, okay, Token Druid, right? That sort of a deck, and I think it would be a pretty good one in that deck. It's like it's a reload system, right? Which Token Druids has always not had the ability to do. If you could outlast a Token Druid at least the first 2 or 3 waves of it, you're pretty good. Except for when living mana pops up every once in a while. But
I want to point out that like you make the comparison to force nature because it's like just like I said, it's just strictly better force nature. But force nature is currently so far from being playable that doesn't matter.
Okay. So is this playable then? Like if that one's far and this one just happens to be a little better, or
Jade Druid's disappearing. Big Druid hasn't been a playable deck in forever. They're releasing these 2 cards, and it's just like Blizzard's pushing Token Druids. So I would expect that like with the rest of the set that some viable Token Druid deck will exist. And I think both these cards definitely should be in that deck. And both cards on screen synergize with each other. If you turn to Witchwood Apple, you increase your hand side, which is going to make it that you have more wisps on turn 4.
Wait. So there's a correction. People are in the chat are saying, actually, it looks like it's true. The treant's actually 2 mana.
What?
Yeah.
That's what I said. Like
the treant's actually 2 mana.
That's terrible then.
Yeah. That makes this card way worse. I mean,
living mana. The guys on living mana cost 1. No.
No, it's actually like I'm looking on just Gamepedia, right? And yeah, it's 2 mana.
Oh, my bad. Okay, this is not playable.
This is not playable at all.
This is strictly worse force of nature.
3 mana 6/6.
I mean, it still
good.
might be playable, but it's
No,
not.
no, it's
good.
not.
Okay, it's not at all. Okay, it's not at all.
The one on the right though is playable, I think.
Yeah. So Whisper. Yeah. Go ahead.
Look, because you can't play it in a token deck because it costs way too much, and in a control deck you don't want to play this spell for 2 mana. Like
you want to do more powerful busted stuff with a total of 8 mana. Like you can play Lich King. That sounds way better.
You can play a spiteful summoner that summons your Lich King.
Yeah. Bam.
All right, so let's talk about
the other card.
Let's talk about Whispering Woods here. It's a 4 mana spell, epic. Summon a 1/1 wisp for each card each card in your hand. So if you've got, if you're playing Hand Druid or whatever, you can fill the board with 1/1 wisps and get a 4 mana 7/7. Right? That's the whole kind of meme that's been following this.
The old Token Druids, way back when in the Yogg-Saron meta, were capable of having an early game that was somewhat aggressive while having a reload and end game. This is a card that meets those criterias, and you can just play this on turn 4 for 7 wisps, and if you have Lotus or Power Wild in hand or Soul of the Forest type cards, absolutely busted.
I don't know if you can have that consistently, right? 7 cards in hand on turn 4.
You can have 5 or 6. I don't think there's much.
When you play stuff,
there's not much of a difference between 5 wisps and 7.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be playing anything in the first 3 turns.
But you said you play an aggressive curve. There's no way you will have 7 cards in hand.
A somewhat aggressive curve. You can have 5.
If you play Witchwood Apple.
Yeah. But in the late game, you also have every Druid deck is going to run UI, right? So in the late game, it's always going to be 7 wisps, and then you'll be able to combo it Lotus Power Wilds. But in your early game on 4, I think you can expect anywhere between 4 and 6 1/1s. And in these type of decks, I'm assuming you might not even run Wild Growth to have larger hand size. But
Okay, so we would be playing for this kind of 4, 5, and 6, slot.
Yeah, I mean, you're
power
not expecting
turns.
7 on curve, but
Yeah.
like, I think 5 wisps on turn 4.
I don't think so.
Very scary.
But it's
Really?
very like
I don't know,
I think it's
man.
but look at the paladin curve. There's no way you have that many cards in hand. This may be 3 wisps or so.
Okay, so if you go first, right? You play 1 drop. You start with 3, draw the 4th. You play a 1 drop. You play a 2 drop. You play a 3 drop. You play
and
3.
they don't draw you cards.
You still have 4. Right. You still have 4 cards in hand if you 1, 2, 3. If you have coin, then you actually end up with 5 cards.
But is that really good though for 4 mana? Right now, that sounds pretty terrible.
Token Druid is not a deck that's going to go 1, 2, 3. Token Druid is like, it's not like Murloc Paladin. It's gonna resemble more like Dude Paladin, which was just gonna hero power on 2, or like you're not gonna have like a million 1 drops in your deck and a million 2 drops in your deck while playing this card. You're gonna be a deck that consists of probably like old Violet Teacher.
Yeah, we're talking Violet Teacher type of stuff.
But there's no more Mark of the Lotus as well. So right now I can't.
Yeah, Power Laws. Yeah, Power Laws. And
yeah. Oh, that's right. Lotus is gone. Yeah, so it's a really
Lotus was pretty good for this deck.
Yeah. I'm torn on this because I feel like they're a bit conflicting, and we've just been talking about it, right? Like figuring out how to put in this feels like an aggro type of card, yet the value is really from a hand druid type of thing.
This is for a mid-range deck, not for aggro. All right, let's put it this way, Gaara. How many wisp do you think this card is good on curve? 4, 5, 6?
I don't know, because if you compare it to Paladin, Call to Arms, how many stats? It's so much more stats, even more than 7.
And if you look at Dude Paladin, not so much. Dude Paladin, you expect like 2/1/1 Divine Shields and like a 2/2, right?
Yeah. So 5, I guess, right? Around 5 would be good.
Right, but like if you play Whispering Woods against like Paladin and they don't have Knife Juggler exactly, 5/1/1s beats Call to Arms.
Yeah,
because you have more trading options and it will combo the swipe to clean it all up.
Sure.
I think it comes down to if you can play it consistently and get that many wisps. I think if you get 5 wisps, it would be insane.
I think if you get 5 wisps, it's insane, and I think that's not an unlikely pan out by turn 4.
Okay.
Now, you don't need the 7. Like obviously, like you're not getting 7 on turn 4. Or I mean, that means you have coin and you probably hero powered. That's like not the scenario where the card's gonna be good. It's gonna be good when you play like a Crypt Lord. Is that still in the game?
Yeah.
You play Crypt Lord on turn 3 to protect your wisp. Then you buff your Crypt Lord by +5 health, and you protect your wisp from anything, from minion combat, because you have a 1/11 on board.
Crypt Lord would be really good. Yeah, I'll give you that. That's
you look at like that a crypt like that. You can pass on 1, hero power on 2, Crypt Lord on 3, and play 5 wisps on 4. That's an absolutely busted curve against aggro.
Okay, all right. It'll be interesting to see if they do come out with another buff all type of card, because it would be pretty sick if we do see another one.
It's also the type of card where if you're running cards like Soul of the Forest and it sticks, game's over.
Yeah.
You just
Sword of the Forest.
Mine is like Defile. Mine is Defile. I mean Warlock's gonna be the best class in the game as always. Anyways.
That's true. All right. Well, anyways, let's move on. We got lots more cards to discuss here. We've got 2, neutral cards here. Well, the first one being a 5-mana 4/5 common Rotten Apple Bomb. So continue with that apple theme. This is a taunt and a death rattle restore 4 health to a hero. So kind of like a mixture of Mistress mixed with
it's well, you gotta compare it more to the 4/5 Priest card that heals 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's also a 4/5. Mm-hmm. Taunt's not actually an ability that does anything in Hearthstone, because like almost every single minion in your turns 1 through 6 or 7 has taunt. Anyways, you just Hearthstone's a game of trading. You kind of just kill everything your opponent plays, or try to, and they try to kill everything you play. It's just kind of how Hearthstone plans out. So.
It's because face decks don't really exist anymore.
Right. It's all board control decks. There's no phase hunter. It's all a fight for board. So a card like this is I think, just worse than the priest equivalent to it. And that card's not playable. So this should be far from playable.
I think it costs 1 mana too much. For 4 mana you will play, for 5 mana it's unplayable. Because there's no Nuzov. Like, in what deck would you play it in?
Or
like,
right. I mean a Reno deck. That's about it.
It's still a little better than that card in terms of playing against like Silverhand Paladin or something like that. I mean, you're going to absorb more
Silverhand Paladin kills your dudes, regardless of them having taunt or not, because they have to protect the Direwolf Elf or the Knife Juggler.
Okay.
Like, it is a game of complete trading. It's only like in a very late stage of a game where one player actually starts ignoring your opponent's minions to make a face push.
Mm-hmm.
That's like turn 7, 8, 9. It's not turn 5, and you gotta evaluate cards on what turn they're played on. Like if we're talking about the stage where one player starts ignoring minions and going face, that's way past turn 5, and then at that point you're looking at what 8 drop is better than this, what 9 drop is better than this at that stage of the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this card will mostly be played from a Stonehill Defender.
Yeah, that's a pretty good analysis.
Yeah.
It's probably an above average roll from Stonehill for sure.
Yeah, I mean this definitely seems like it was made at the wrong time. It would have been good years ago. Like it's just not right now. Okay, so the next one is Muck Hunter, 5 mana, 5/8 body. This is an epic card. Again, not a class card. It's a rush card. Battlecry summon 2/2/1 mucks for your opponent. So it's got that whole kind of
so it's kind of a 5/4. It's kind of a 5/4 rush 5, right? Just given like
okay, sure.
Because you give them 4 power in play, which you can use it to trade. Right. 5/4 for 5 can't actually value trade into anything. So the contingency on this being good is that you have like a couple of 1/1 tokens left from something to be able to kill the 2/1s, so that your 5/8 can value trade like their 4-drop, like say let's call it Chill and Yeti. And then it'll be a 5/4, and then the 5/4 will stick at you.
That's a lot of things to have to be.
But you need that the contingency that the 2/1s go away somehow and aren't able to trade into it, because like one of the big things on Rush being good is that you're value trading and not 1-for-1ing.
You know what's funny? It's like I feel like Blizzard is really like testing the sweet spot of giving your opponent stuff, and to see when a card will become playable, because it turns out giving your opponent anything is really bad, no matter how small. Giving your opponent a random 1-drop is really bad, because you could.
It's also not because the big thing with giving your opponent stuff is you can look at a 2/1 as a 1-drop, right? But you're not actually giving your opponent a 2/1. You're giving him a 2/1 charge, which is a Bluegill Warrior, which is a 2-drop, right?
Yeah.
So you're actually giving your opponent 2 2-drops, more so than 2 1-drops.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's something that you'll want to be using with a class that has a lot of ability to remove 1/1. So like a warrior or something like that.
Something where it really fits, like Hunter, which has like a candle shot. Like, candle shot. Something that has like a candle shot equipped, and it doesn't kill anything in mid game anyways. And then
that's a very good example.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You can do it maybe Blood Razor and Warrior. I don't know.
Yeah, Blood Razor I think would be another good one. In the end, it's just like all these things you need, and it doesn't feel like a good card because
when you need another card to make this card good, I think that's not good. I mean, that being said, if later in the set, right, there's this very high priority 5 health minion that costs 4 mana or 5 mana, Muck Hunter might be a consideration. It just has a removal for that key card. But that card's got to be very good. It's got to be like say what Fandral was when Fandral was printed, right? Where Fandral was like played on turn 4, and if Fandral didn't die, the game was over. So if there's like a Fandral type card in the metagame, then Muck Hunter could be like a response to that. But you gotta have a very high priority 5 health minion that's consistently played in the meta.
Sure.
Yeah. Another problem with besides giving your opponent stuff is consistency for when you require a setup, and that will show that when you play this card, you will notice that you will not always have a setup like a weapon equipped, like a. For example, it sounds great what Purple said, having like the Razor weapon in Warrior, and then you play this guy, you clear the board, you have a great minion, and Warrior doesn't really have good turn 5 plays without to clear stuff. But there will be a lot of cases where you just have to play it for 5 mana without any setup, and then you will realize, okay, this card is bad.
Late game, you got Garrosh, and you can utilize that Whirlwind Hero Power, man.
I know. That's true. I mean, the stats itself are pretty... I mean, what if you... I mean, is there
the stats are absurd.
Yeah, I mean,
the stats are absurd. If you negate the tax on a card, this is a great card.
I mean, is there a priest possibility? I mean, like, you could.
It's better than Doomguard if you trade for.
It's better than
Doomguard. Is really strong.
Yeah, you don't have to drop 2 cards either. That's like that's definitely a lot better. But yeah, I was thinking about priest. Like, maybe I mean, there's definitely ways to remove 2/1s easily with priest, and then you have a 5/8. I mean, that's pretty good if you think Divine Spirit or anything interesting like that. But yeah, anyways, Muck Hunter.
Wow, and he's work with priest for sure.
Yeah.
It also comes down to if it's relevant to deal 5 damage to a minion.
Right.
Like,
that was my big point about it.
Right, right. Killing something that's just very, very difficult to kill at that point.
And it's not showing Yeti.
Yeah, if the
meta
ever plays Children Yeti, the card is nuts.
Right. Okay, we're moving on. We got a Warlock card. This is first legendary. 6 mana, 3/7 minions in your hand have Echo, and it's Glinda Crowskin.
I love this card.
All the minions. So this is something that I feel like they've been introducing too, where it's just like all of a sudden everything in your hand has this keyword. That's like crazy. So I think at first knee-jerk reaction is like, this is incredibly insane value. But looking a little closer,
it's like the best thing they could have done for a Warlock Legendary. They have to make it completely unplayable, because if you give anything to Q block, the game will break. If you give one more good card to Q block, it will become a 99% win rate deck. It is that good already.
I hope people that are listening understand what you're saying. He's saying this card sucks then, right? Basically.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely trash. But like literally, Blizzard has one job in its expansion, and that's like not to create a card that can be played in Q block.
She's cool though. Come on, man. I mean, if she lives a turn, it's like, oh boy, you can go nuts.
Oh my god, if she lives a turn, you can play like
you can go
2,
nuts.
3. Oh my god, on turn 8, if you play this on 7, you can play 2 copies of Chain Gang. You get 4 taunts. Powerful.
Okay.
I mean, his point is that all the good cards are too expensive to play twice.
Right.
Like, what is the best? Okay, what is the best possible card you could play twice?
It's got to be a Battlecry minion, right?
Oh, it's definitely Battlecry.
Kazakus.
Kazakus?
There we go.
Kazakus, all right. Kazakus.
And in the headlock, you probably have 8 cards in your hand, and then you will mill a card.
Yep. Yeah, I'm ecstatic that it's terrible. I'm very ecstatic, because like I just don't want Q block to get a playable.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the most important parts of this expansion, is that Q block cannot improve. And great.
Great, yeah. Yeah, this 3/7, it feels, yeah, it's going to be one of those things. 7 mana or 7 health isn't like an easy thing to remove, like at 6, but you know, I think that you really have to build around something like this.
No. You're talking in the aspect that there is nothing on board going into turn 6.
Yeah, exactly. That too.
My average ladder games involve my opponents having 5 minions on board with threatening Sunkeeper Tarim on turn 6. Like, that's about a third of my games. Yeah, one other third, there's like an operative on the board which is threatening to become a 48/48 the turn after. And the other 38, the other third of my games, there's 3 to 7 Doom Guards on the board on turn 6. So like, this thing's dead.
No, the way how you would play this card is like with a Doomsayer reset, like you get a board clear, because Warlock has apparently even more board clears.
We're gonna look. Okay, we're bringing up all the cards with battle cries. All right, we're going to HS Replay, of course, and we're gonna look at all these things. All right, so we got Kobold Librarian. You could go nuts, man, on yourself.
You can fatigue yourself.
You go nuts on yourself. All right, we can Carnivorous Cube.
The dirty rat fig's pretty fun.
Dude, Nosferatu. Come on, man. Nosferatu would be pretty fun.
That's pretty sweet if it works. You just Nosferatu someone four times. Like your deck's gone.
That'd be pretty sweet. Of course, you could play it yourself.
You would probably play that in like a mirror. Like the way how you play it is you go for a Doomsday reset, let's say Twisting Nether, Doomsday, whatever, and then you play it, and 7 health is really a lot to remove. When you're like
to play bad cards, like
dude, Glacial Shard, Zoo, Glacial Shard, Zoo. That could be
Glacial. Glacial Shard's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah.
Glacial Shard's like a borderline playable card in almost every single deck. The card's very powerful.
Yeah.
There's just generally 30 better cards, but like if you queued into me on ladder, Gaara, and I had Glacial Shard in my cube lock or in my controller lock, right? And you'd be like, "Wow, that's actually not that bad."
Yeah, but
like you would have that reaction. Be like, you'd play freeze or whatever. And freeze your operative, and you'd be like, "This guy's drunk." And he's like,
and
"Wait, this is kind of good."
Yeah, it works with the 5-2.
Hey, Gaara, check your mic, dude. I think you might be using the webcam
Me?
mic. Yeah, when we switched over. Yeah. Dude, so another thing that would be pretty funny is if like you had Crab, you could just like, if you're playing against Murloc Paladin, you could just grab them all. That'd be pretty sweet too. Hungry Crab here.
You just kill the reload of 6 Hungry Crab.
Exactly. They freaking call the arms. You're like, yeah, baby. I got.
It's all dead.
I got a bunch of 3/4s now.
I mean, like we're looking through this list and we're thinking of all the meme possibilities.
Cold Light Oracle is interesting.
It's Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, shit. Forgot about that. Damn.
I won't. I'm mad.
Yeah, I know. Okay, well anyways, Glinda's going to be, at the very least, he'll be fun and people will be trying stuff. But, you know, how viable it is, we'll have to see. Okay, next one we got is our first Paladin card, which is a 2-mana spell, Rebuke, common. Enemy spells cost 5 more next turn. So, sounds very familiar to Lotheb, but this is going to be
it really is Lotheb.
Yeah, it sounds like it, but it's a spell.
Why Lotheb was so good is that you could checkmate them with the ability, but it was also a 5/5 for 5, which is proper stats for a 5-drop, especially at the time in Azure Drake meta, where it was just value trading anything your opponent could play. And you could checkmate. So this card only has the checkmate aspect of the card, where it's just like, I made a board, now you can't clear my board, right? But it's not universally good as a curve play, which is obviously it's very significantly worse than Lotheb, but you can find a niche application, I guess. And I just don't see what turn you'd be playing it on. Like, I guess like you can play it on turn 5 to try to protect your board so you can Sunkeeper Terran someone. Yeah. But my counter argument to that is, if you have a board and you have Sunkeeper Terran, you're probably not in too bad of a spot anyways. And you probably want, what if you just add like 5-drop to the board? Doesn't that sound kind of better?
I don't know. I mean, when you're playing against a lot of priests that have a lot of answers at 6 and 7, you know, having this...
well, Dustbreaker's not a playable card anymore because Operative's gone.
Well, even Dragonfire and things like that too. I mean... Right.
Blocking out Dragonfire or Dragon's Fury or anything like Defile.
They're all in that 5, 6, 7 range.
I think it helps you also set up a board, like a Murloc board or something. Like, oftentimes you play stuff, it gets killed. You play stuff, it gets killed.
Right.
But if you have some dudes, like, because the Gentle Megasaur and the one...
Your dudes need to stick for a turn for the card to be good, right?
Yeah.
And if your dudes stick for a turn, right, it means one of two things. Either they don't have the AoE in hand, or they don't have the mana to cast the AoE. And like, for example, going into like the Dragonfire turn is an excellent example. But like if you look at like the Warlock matchup, the file's probably not in the hand if it's not killing all your guys, right? So
that's not
the
true,
turn
right?
once your guys stick, that means like they probably can't kill them anyways. Depending on, but like Dragonfire is an exception where like, yeah, sure. but you can't play this early, right? You can't play this card till turn 5, 6, 7, because if you
you'd
like,
have to
if you-
hold it. That's the big negative, is that it
Right.
just basically eats space in your hand like during that time. But I don't know.
Like
I
if you
feel
play like if you play like 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, Call to Arms, and then somehow this shit doesn't die, and then you play this card on 5, you win. But
yeah.
like usually what happens is that you play 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, Call to Arms, something kills all your guys before Rebuke happens, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's one of those cards. Maybe you could play 1. You definitely couldn't play. I don't think you could fit 2 in a deck. But
I don't think you could fit 1.
Really, gosh, I think it's borderline. It's
I think it's far from being playable.
okay.
Very far. Especially if you look at like the metagame. How many decks that even play spells? Very few.
Yeah.
And even the decks that play spells, say Warlock, turn 5, what are they doing? Because like you're not playing it in the first 4 turns, so we have to talk turn 5 or later. Turn 5, what are they doing? Galmanari Lackey.
But I mean, a lot of these games, I feel like a lot of these games where you're playing Silverhand Paladin or even Murloc Paladin, I mean, there are moments where you're just going, right? Like you're committed.
But just think about it. Okay, if you talk about Warlock, if you play Dude Paladin, you play the 5 mana summon dudes, right?
Right.
And you play this for 7 mana Rebuke. What does a Warlock do? You can't Lackey
on turn 7?
Yeah.
I mean, you have Skull Minari equipped and they're dead. The game's over by turn 7.
No, because you would just kill them.
Yeah, you.
No, you already have a Void Lord on the field and you're facelessing it. Like,
I mean, you're
turn
just come
7
on now.
No, it's turn 7. The game's over by then. Like the AoEs are relevant in the first 4 turns,
true.
and then
Yeah,
Warlock
more
plays
times than not,
Lackey
you're right.
Skull, Doomguard your guy, whatever. Like they stop playing spells after turn 5. Really, sure you can block exactly Lackey Pact, like on like turn 6. That's like it's a very niche application, but
Yeah,
like
I also.
you look at other
look at
decks.
this
There's
card
like
as-
spiteful decks. There's a whole bunch like mirror matchups. There's a whole bunch of decks that just don't play spells.
Okay. Gar, you're gonna say
And
something?
decks that play spells have plays that are minions.
Yeah,
like-
this is also what I'm really worried about this expansion is that Spiteful's okay. Barnes rotates out, but Spiteful is a thing, and Spiteful like Control Lock and Cube Lock are completely untouched almost, and Spiteful is still a thing. You can still play Spiteful. As soon as people want to play like rush decks or whatever mid-range decks, you will just play Spiteful and just destroy them. Or cards like this.
You play the most fair statted minion every turn, then Brush ain't gonna value trade you.
Right.
And then you're gonna 1-for-1 all game, and then you're gonna play Spiteful and win.
Right.
Like, yeah, Spiteful's still gonna be a very good deck for
Right.
sure.
Let's move on here. Got some more very fun cards to talk about. All right, we got a Hunter card here. This is the first one they revealed. 4 mana, Houndmaster Shaw. It's a legendary 3/6. Your other minions have Rush. And same thing again. This is like where, just everything else. It's basically giving one of these cool keywords too. So with Houndmaster Shaw, what do you guys think? Like, obviously, you're going to want to be playing stuff with this. So it's one of those classic cases where, if this survives, it's really, really good.
The biggest criteria for Rush to be good is that your minion can value trade their minion, right?
Yeah.
If you look at current Hunter builds, on 5 they play Spellstone.
Yep.
Spellstone doesn't value trade anything, right? Well, very very little does it value trade. Like 3 health is not a lot. So you need like a larger size minion, like say maybe like Bittertide Hydra to start. You play like Bittertide Hydra and you just run over whatever they play. But like you need that big minion that's core to your deck that makes sense to be playing in your deck. That's going to be value trade. So it's just got to be something like big and large that
I don't know.
can
A
trade.
Spellstone, I mean, I still think that's a great play. I mean, like even if it's not like you're getting a lot more value in that trade, even just being able to trade and being able to do something right with those minions is a really good turn. So Not to mention there's potential in just death rattles. Like it actually gives death rattle.
Like
Death rattle's
I,
great.
I really want to go against it because I actually played 1,300 games of Spell Hunter this season, and the way how the curve, like the thing is, people don't think about it, that the curve doesn't make sense. You want to set up a secret on 2 and on 4. Basically, if you play this guy on 4, you will never play like a full Spellstone. Like the biggest Spellstone you have are 3 minions.
Yeah.
And usually the Houndmaster, this guy would trade into any 3 health minion.
Right.
So, like the rush would, in best case scenario, it would value trade one of the dogs into 1 minion, and that really doesn't seem like.
Right, but this is not a secret hunter card, right?
Yeah,
you need your deck to be
Spellstone.
minion centric for the card to be good.
We wouldn't
right?
be playing Spellstone.
But we don't think.
We might still play Spellstone. We'll just have way more minions rather than spells in our deck. Like Spellstone's a very good card, and is the essence of Spell Hunter existing. Is Spellstone's busted.
Yeah, Spellstone's broken,
you can
but you
probably
have to
still play Spellstone, but like you're gonna play like minions like Savannah Highmane or Bittertide Hydra or Stranglehold Tiger, something that can value trade and stay alive.
So you'd still have to play secrets then, right? If you're gonna play Spellstone, and then it's like what secrets make sense right now.
I think another problem will be then that this card is a legendary, and then if you wanna like play around it or like build a deck around it, and then it's just you will not hit it, and then your deck is just significantly weaker than just playing like a normal hunter deck.
It has decent. It has. I think the 3/6 for 4 when you compare it with like the Warlock card, when it does get casted on turn 4, I'd say like. Probably at least half the time it's not going to die, which is kind of cool, right?
Yeah, but
definitely.
Well, like the Warlock one, it's going to die like 98% of the time, and when they're not killing it, you're probably like very close to being checkmated.
I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with a very meaty 5-drop here. Like it seems to make sense. And if there
just needs more.
Yeah, if there's a meaty 5-drop, then you have an option.
Decent 5-drops go great with this card.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Yeah. Or like even like decently statted 3s and 2s. Mm-hmm. Like you can always make a combination play, right?
Yeah. For some reason my gut tells me that this card is very underrated right now, and because of things that are about to come out and just one of these applications, because people either are just thinking about Rush and how it doesn't really work with what Hunter has always been. Which has been a tempo type of archetype, or at least those are the best archetypes for Hunter. But I don't know. I feel like this card is actually going to end up being viable in the end. But we'll have to see.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm never going to lose to this card.
Oh man. All right. We got this documented.
I only play concede deck, so Rush doesn't do anything against me, man.
Oh, I see.
I play heavy control. I don't have minions on the board. I'll turn 4.
Okay. All right. That's true. Okay. We'll have to see how that works then. All right. Lord Godfrey. All right. This is a Warlock card, legendary, 7 mana, 4/4. Battlecry deals 2 damage to all other minions.
So
if any die, repeat this Battlecry. So it's like Defile. It's like Defile with
you get
spell
a
damage.
4/4 body, man.
And you don't die. Yeah, I was like, when I first read this, I'm like, oh, okay, it kills itself. But then I read it again. I'm like, oh, it doesn't kill all other minions. I'm like, what? What?
It's probably a slight upgrade on Twisting Nether.
Oh,
In some matchups.
I think for sure it is. Yeah.
I mean, not in all matchups.
But I think
if you look at like Big Priest, right?
Yeah.
2 damage ain't killing nothing, and then you're playing.
Yeah.
Way worse Fire Elemental base or way worse Blaze Caller.
Sure.
But like against like a lot of decks, it's just a Twisting Nether that can come down a turn earlier. That being said, I don't think Twisting Nether is a playable card. So
it is in Control Warlock. What do you mean? Like totally.
Control Warlock just sucks. Play Cube-Block.
Dude, you're the one that was playing it a bunch. This is like about a month ago. But no, the real question for me was just why did they need another Defile? Basically, why did they need a Defile with a body late in the game? That was very odd that they came out with this card. I think it's good. I think people will play it. I don't think it's an auto ad, but I think it's definitely a flex ad.
It's slightly better than Abyssal Enforcer, right? As well, which is like the card you gotta compare it to because it also got 7. You gotta compare it with Abyssal Enforcer.
Much better because it's not a demon. I think That is a big deal.
Right. Well, I mean, the battle cry is also stronger than the Vessel Force, right? And you don't nuke yourself as well for free. But I think card's good, but card's not like OP or anything. It's just like I actually think this card goes in Q block probably, which is kind of scary. But it won't be like a game changer for the deck.
Yeah, I mean it's a relative thing, right? Like Warlock's already had stuff that functions in terms of removal. They have so
it's
much
just like
removal.
It's not even a slightly better way.
It's ridiculous how much removal they have. It's if we counted the cards, I think they have like 8 removal cards.
I feel like if I run this card in a Warlock mirror and like you don't, I feel like I have a huge edge because like I think you just set this up and it kills Gul'dan, it kills this, or Nizal's gone, right? It just kills like you play your Gul'dan, you get like 4 Void Lords. I think like it all dies.
Yeah, or you could at least set it up that way. Yeah.
I disagree. I think this card will be auto-include, and the reason for that is Defile Zetalot is super insanely powerful. The reason why you don't play it is because it costs 2 deck slots, and if you can play Defile Zetalot in one card, that's a big deal. And you want to do Defile Zetalot in late game anyways. Like
sometimes it kills Call Arms, but
in usually. So it's just nuts. It really is super powerful.
It's going to be one that's like I said, at the very least, it's going to be flex. You know, like
And
some people will put it in Q block, some people won't. Like
it's got that ability like what's the 4/4 when you play a 5 mana spell at cost 0? It's kind of like that within one card. It's like when Big Spell Mage plays like Dragon's Fury and then the 4/4 guy. It's kind of similar to that. So it's got like that comeback tool where you take back board control as well, which is swell.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's like oppressive or too good. It's like a fair
stat. They didn't need it though. They did not need this card.
That it's a Warlock card.
It's improving Warlock in an area where it already has many strengths, which makes it okay for me. I think even if it like improves Q block by a tiny margin, it's already a point of strength for the deck. So I think it's fine as long as it's not like as long as it doesn't improve the weaknesses of Q block. I think it's fine, and I think it's borderline playable.
Okay.
Not busted or anything.
All right. So next up, we've got another Hunter card here, Mastiff, and then we've got our first Priest card. So, Priest, 3 mana, spell, Vivid Nightmare, epic. Choose a friendly minion, summon a copy of it with 1 health remaining. So, pretty, interesting text there because it's 1 health remaining. It's not 1 health. So it's just injured down to 1 health. So you can heal it back up. You can do things like that. But this is
any deck you wanted to run Prince Tal'Daram and Priest for your OTK combo, you can run 2 of this instead for consistency. Yeah. That being said, there's not a single Priest deck that I want to run Prince Tal'Daram in, so I don't know where this goes. Then it can just be like a value card if you're playing Karen in your deck, or some abnormally good Death Rattle minion. But those are the applications, right? You kill someone with it, or you get some Death Rattle minions with it. Death Rattle minions isn't really a plan currently, and killing them with like Tal'Daram type combos, I don't think is a plan either. So not so sure what we're doing with this card. It's cool, I guess.
Tal'Daram combo. I mean, you're talking about just like OTK stuff, right?
And Tal'Daram does, exactly. Yeah, Tal'Daram does what this card does, right?
Yeah.
But
you can have 2 of these.
What's the OTK you're doing in Priest with this? I mean, we can have 2 of them. We could have like 7 of them, but if we don't have the OTK puzzle piece together,
right? I mean, you're gonna need like 6-7 cards or something. Yeah, it's like Exodia basically.
And if you want to be playing like a value type game with the card, like Faceless Manipulator is better because you can copy your opponent's stuff, which is sometimes relevant.
Yeah,
a lot of times relevant. And like, I mean, if you're playing a value game, having a 1 health minion is like not that good.
Is it good in Big Priest?
Kind of. Not really. Like an 8/1.
You can't play Big Priest anymore. There's no Barnes and no Isharaj.
You could still figure some. I mean, it's not as good. It's definitely not as good.
No, but I mean, even so, right? If say we leave Big Priest as is, would you play this card? Probably not.
No.
Like why, like you have a Lich King on the board and your Lich King magically doesn't die. Do you really want to play an 8/1? Like, is that really like what we're looking to do if our turn play an 8/1? Like,
yeah, but it's an 8/1 that gives you a card too, though. It's only 3 mana. We're talking about a card that only costs 3 mana.
right. But like, all right, but like you have something better to do than play an 8/1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's gotta be. So like in terms of value, it's just like worse than like Faceless Manipulator.
I think you only see this card being played from Lyra as a random spell that you get.
Sure.
Okay. All right. All right. Next one, Hunting Mastiff, 2 mana hunter card. It's a beast, common, 2/1 Echo Rush. So it's got both of the new keywords in it, and I actually think this card's really cool. But wanna hear it here. The main reason I think it's cool is because like it can be like considered a removal spell in the form of a minion. You know, like you could actually let's just say it's an 8 mana, you know, like 2 damage across, you know, just to do, you know, remove 4 minions or something like that. And it's got the flexibility of doing that. It's not great in that application, but because it's flexible enough to do multiple things, I think the design of it is a very, very interesting thing. So
Unleash the Hounds can go face.
yeah.
That's my whole point about this card.
It's not meant. It's not meant to do that. I mean, this is more of a removal card than anything else.
A very shitty removal card.
Okay.
Okay, so if you play like if you play Lich King, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can play 4 Hunting Mastiffs and kill your Lich King, dude. Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Sure. I mean, is it the 1 health that makes it? I mean, what if it was 2 health?
No, it scales really badly. 2 damage for 2 mana is bad, and 4 damage for 4 mana is bad. 6 damage for 6 mana is bad.
Right.
And a 2 mana 2/1 is that is like a bad 1-drop. Is bad. It's always bad.
It's a bad 1-drop. It's certainly a bad 2-drop.
The mana investment is always bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that's why it's bad.
If you want to be looking to doing something where, if you think this card is good, you'd probably run 2 copies of Unleash and Timberwolf in your deck, because that is way better.
Right. Okay.
And we haven't seen that. We haven't seen that since like Sunshine Hunter era. Like, it's been a long time.
Yeah. That's true. Okay. Well, I mean, again, it might not be playable at all, but I think just the concept of using Rush in that way, you know, especially Echo and Rush together, you know, allows for something like that. Somebody's like saying, is Old Force of Nature a good AoE type of thing? It's like, that's kind of true. It's pretty similar, but Old Force of Nature was versatile. You know, you could do a lot of things with it. So
and it could go face.
Yeah, it could go face.
To be fair, in that era, Force of Nature killed Druid of the Claw quite a bit.
Did it? Don't even remember that. Really?
Oh, that happened a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Combo Druid era. Yeah. Someone would play turn 5 Druid of the Claw, and the yard guy would be like, Force of Nature, your Druid of the Claw.
Okay.
It wasn't a good play by any means. It just happened a lot.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we've got what we got. Oh, we got a Shaman card. Oh, we got let's see, 1 Shaman card. I feel like I skipped something here. No, maybe. Here, we'll do a Shaman in a Druid card here. So we'll start off with the Druid card, 4 mana, Forest Guide, rare. It's a 1/6. At the end of your turn, both players draw a card. Yeah. How's this game?
I misread this card, and I thought it actually read you draw a card, and I was trying to evaluate that if I had a 4. I was trying to evaluate
like a mana tide totem, right?
If I drew a card, right? And I didn't think it was good when only I drew a card. So when both players draw a card, it's certainly not good.
Yeah, like what is this card? Like
the thing is, Coldlight Oracle goes into Hall of Fame, and then Druid gets this card.
This is the shittiest replacement the Coldlight Oracle ever, man. And Druid's like the 8th class I want to play Coldlight Oracle in. Like the only class I don't want to play Coldlight Oracle in currently is Hunter. Like and Druid's like the 2nd last to that.
and like Druid is ultimate infestation. I don't think you will struggle.
Yeah.
I just don't even understand. I mean, was it really supposed to be like a cold light? I didn't.
No.
When I first read this, I didn't even think about cold light oracle. All right, I was just
No, it's not
staring
close to
at it.
Cold Light.
Like, what the hell is this?
I don't know. Like
This is the kind of card that Warlock deserved. Okay, I don't know why they gave it to Druid. This is crazy. Okay.
Full man's Cold Light
to
Oracle.
be fair, this if your game plan does revolve around this card working in your deck, you probably like want it to stick for multiple turns, and at the 1/6 body stat, it's probably not gonna die.
I mean,
like,
but what
before
is
just
it?
getting
Is it a
torched.
mill druid? I mean, a mill druid. I mean, what type of deck do you want your opponent drawing cards?
It's only mill.
Yeah,
This plus Naturalize. Wow, get him.
Yeah, get him. Get him. All right, moving on.
I think maybe I should read 50% of the time you draw a card, and 50% of the time your opponent draws a card.
Jesus. Okay. All right. Witch's Apprentice. It's a shaman card. 1 mana, 0/1 beast, but it has taunt. It's also a common card, but it has taunt and battle cry. Add a random shaman spell to your hand. So it's kind of got that
Pavel
Babbling
is
Book feel
gonna
to it.
become the next world champion. This is Pavel's card.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
I was-
Pavel's Apprentice. Is that what we're going to be doing? Calling it now?
It's it's the Paveling apprentice.
Paveling Apprentice, exactly.
I wanted to say this card is completely unplayable, but I would still play it in the next World Championship.
Okay.
Now, the problem is, okay, listen, because I talked about this shortly on my stream today, and people brought up, you don't know the new shaman spells, right? New cool shaman spells. Maybe they're like super broken, who knows, right? So first of all, Bubbling Book is better than this card. You don't want a 1 mana 0/1. First of all, Shaman doesn't have J-Claws anymore. Like, a 1/1 would be so much better for Shaman.
Babbling Book on turn 1 is a decent board control play.
Yeah, but it's still like
not.
But it's still not played right now, Bubbling
Right.
Book, in any deck that is not Quest Mage. Just to bring that up, right?
Right.
And a Shaman, what do we want with a 1 mana 0/1? So the body is completely irrelevant, right? So what you get is a random Shaman spell.
Let's look at the random shaman spells, guys. we gotta
like-
subtract some. We gotta subtract
I
some of
wanna,
these.
I wanna
Let
get
me
to
get
the
rid of some of these.
like the first time you will play this card, you will get a Totemic Might, and then you will remove this card from your deck. You're gonna go to the collection and dust it for 5 dust.
I will say I think that like a random mage card or a random mage spell
better.
is a lot better than
It's
a
a lot
random.
better.
Like AOE cards like Frostbolt, like that don't overload you. I think the overload factor works against Shaman for sure
That's true.
in a sense because you can just mess up your mana curve with random cards. But yeah, the Bloodlust, like all of these things are just so situational. But like if you look at Mage, you got like AOEs, you got removal, and you got
Secrets, like that.
You got
right?
secrets. Like all these things are
But-
somewhat playable.
But Bubbling Book has, like, on top of it, synergy with the Mage Hero power. The Shaman one has no synergy. It has synergy with Jaina, and we still only play Bubbling Book in like only Quest Mage.
0/1 into Flame Tongue, dude. The curse.
And it's so much
All
better.
right, so this whole add a random spell thing for Witch's Apprentice is obviously not the greatest. But,
And Swashbuckler was good because Rogue has no turn 1 play, and it pulled patches.
but like,
Yeah.
okay, so
And
here's a question too. Why did they make it 0 attack?
Because it's like
Because of
Hex.
Hex.
It's like Hex compared to Polymorph.
Oh, I see.
That's all.
Okay, because of the frog. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's-
even think about that. Wow. Okay, that's that's not a good reason. That's but being thematically
puts-
consistent here wasn't that important.
But then it costs 0 mana because the frog is a 0 mana 0/1.
He's got a good hat, though. We can all agree on
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
the
he's
art
cute.
is
He's
great.
cute. I'll give him that. He's cute. He's definitely cute. But if we're talking about random spells, I think a better design or implementation of that was actually Hagatha, which is the hero card that we saw in the announcement video. You know, where it just like fell over Blair Witch style. And we finally find out what it actually is. So Hagatha is the shaman card that we knew, and it's a legendary 8 mana. Gives you 5 armor, of course. Battlecry is deal 3 damage to all minions, so you kind of get that Hellfire effect without hurting yourself. And then the hero power is called Bewitch, and it's a passive hero power, so you don't have to use any mana. After you play a minion, add a random shaman spell to your hand. So similar to the frog, but this one you just get it anytime you play a minion. So
Yeah.
lots of value here, right?
So in a deck where an 8-mana card defensive DK is going to be used, you're going to be playing a control deck, right?
Yeah.
If you're playing a control deck, you're much more spell oriented than you are minion oriented.
I was about to say the same thing.
On top of that, right, 8 mana, deal 3, doesn't actually kill anything relevant that's on the board on turn 8.
But for Shaman, it's still better than anything Shaman has, so you would still play it.
Probably, yeah, but it's still not good.
Removal wise, yeah, that's probably true.
But like, if this card like read like deal 4 to everything, all of a sudden we're talking. But like deal 3, it's so little. Deal 3, it's so little.
All right, so let's talk about some archetype that might work. So Elemental Shaman, right? Throwing something out there that has a bunch of minions, it's mid-range. Do we see this, working? This hero power would just be kind of like a Lyra. Like it doesn't necessarily, it's not clear as to how it helps your win condition, but it just gives you so much value that there's got to be some way to win, given how many of these.
Thrall's just better. If you're playing like random elemental minions, it's just better to evolve them and like +1/+1 them than it is to have a random card in your deck. Because unless like we're playing a very, very long control versus control game where this random generation of spells, me neither.
Yeah.
Me neither.
Like what's the win condition with control, guys? Like
so like absolutely insane card against exactly control priest and control warrior. That's about it.
Okay.
I don't know. I just can't say it.
I mean, again, like an RNG class gets more RNG. Against aggro, it can be good if you get always like a good anti-aggro spell. But in Shaman, you don't necessarily play a lot of minions. But if you play, let's say, an Elemental Shaman, you would play this card in. Then you can high roll, get good, let's say, a bunch of Lightning Storms, a bunch of Volcanoes, if you get lucky.
Yeah. Wait, is this Murloc Shaman maybe? Maybe Murloc Shaman can actually be something?
Well, we're just gonna kill all our Murlocs.
We kill our own board.
How does that help?
That's true.
But that's another problem, right? Because the way how the elemental synergy works is it requires you to always play an elemental before that, right? This disrupts the elemental curve. Let's not talk about that. And Kalimos is better than this card.
Kalimos is a 7/7. Jesus, Kalimos is way better than this.
It's like it kills, like killing your own board is usually not very good, except your warlock. I don't see the effect of dealing damage to your own stuff being. This is why I don't like Dragon's Fury. Like even in Mage, Dragon's Fury is not good, that great.
I mean, you really don't have minions in Mage, though. So.
Yeah, and Mage has like no minions.
Yeah, you really don't.
And if you play a completely minion-based deck, I don't know, dealing damage to your own stuff. It doesn't sound.
I know this.
I think I'm gonna defend the card and say one thing. The other 9 DKs printed before this are all absolutely fucking busted.
Yeah.
Right. So just based on that, right? Like every DK in the game is absolutely busted. So, this is a DK. Maybe it's busted.
Maybe it's busted. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
based on what they did with the other 9 DKs,
I know,
you'd expect this to be good.
This one feels. I know it's spells and not minions, but it does feel a little bit like Hunter. Like the value's there, but it has to be like a long game, and like it doesn't end up happening, so we don't actually end up seeing it in the end. But has that potential for a crazy control type of archetype. So
I was running Jade Shaman for the last like 2.5 months or so. I mean, that deck's not going to exist, but I think I have proven that Shaman can go the distance. It's got decent control tools.
Yeah, it definitely does.
I think it really is what Purple says. 8 mana deal 3 damage it will be like too little.
The battle cry is unimpressive. If this card if it dealt 4 at all, I'd be just like, I'd be like, wow, this card's going to be great. At deal 3, it's missing that breaking point of it being insane.
Okay.
I think it's not bad against Gul'dan.
Yeah, kinda. Well, definitely going to try it out for sure. I want to see what kind of spells I can
it's Shaman, he will play it.
Yeah.
Because it's Shaman.
That's right. It's totally Shaman.
Best card in the set.
Oh man. Okay. Well, next, let's see. Next two here, we got. Let's see, a warrior card. Oh yeah, this card. And we've got a neutral card here. So 3 mana, Nightmare Amalgam. It's epic. It's a 3/4, and the cool part about this card is this is an elemental, a mech, a demon, a murloc, a dragon, a beast, a pirate, and a totem. And we, for the first time, we see the all tribe keyword. So it is literally everything, which is really a cool thing to try out, like design wise, because it can literally use in any kind of tribal deck. But it also it is susceptible to every single hate card too. So
Sure.
it's interesting.
So let's read this card as 3/4 with no text, because that's what it is, right?
Come on.
So,
it's an enabler. I would say it's
Spider
3/4 enable stuff.
Current spider tanks in the game. Everyone can play Beardmasto, the auctioneer guy.
Yeah,
what's his name?
Beardo?
Yeah, Beardo. Every class can run this card, right? And they do the same thing. They're 3/4s that are vanilla.
I mean, this is an enabler though. Like anything that needs like an elemental or needs a dragon or needs a beast, like it functions.
I think the strength of it would revolve around a deck where you're running multiple tribes, and
like Zubat, right, and things like that.
Right. All the Zubats plus the +2/+2 guy. That guy's actually insane if he lands on 2 guys.
Mm-hmm.
There just aren't decks founded around multi-tribe though right now. But like the only way it has value, say you're just like playing Murloc Paladin, right? You're not gonna play a 3/4 in Murloc Paladin. It's just not good. But if you're playing multi-class and you can start getting value out of like multiple buffs across multiple tribes, then maybe. But still, those cards are very far from being busted by any means.
Okay.
I'm thinking specifically the 4/4 for 5 that gives +2/+2 to a Murloc.
Yeah, a
dragon.
A beast. It's like a beast, dragon, Murloc, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So a card like this enables that card, which is cool. But it's like that card, even when it lands, is far from being OP, given like how much setup and effort you need to make it work. So, yeah.
I think this card is very cool.
Yeah.
It's not very powerful, but whenever you think about something that involves synergies, you can play this card. If you want to do anything with totems, you can play this card. If you want to play like Hunter and some beasts on curve, you can play this card. You think about dragons, you can hold this card in your hand. It can be a Murloc, so if you want to have like an addition, whatever you think about, you can technically play this card because it has like decent-ish stats, right?
My favorite part of this card is that if you get a golden copy of it, you can disenchant it for 400 dust.
You're so stupid, man. No, I mean, the thing I appreciate the most about this card is really just the design, because they made one card that's really 8 cards. So I appreciate that. I actually think that's really cool that they're trying that out, and I think we'll see this card. I think people will feel like if you're trying to, we have some of these issues sometimes when we're trying to build a specific tribe type of deck. There's just not quite enough, or we're just missing some key spots. Well, now we have something. We have 2 cards here that we can just fill in. Like if we ever need like an extra, extra Murlocs or extra pirates or extra dragons or whatever. I mean, I think this helps out.
Actually, the card won't see play because it's an epic card. Because you have to craft it. If this was common, I can see like people like playing around with it for fun, but it being epic, I think that's actually a big deal. I think that's actually a big deal.
Okay, really? Okay, I don't know. I mean, it definitely is harder to get. I mean, I feel like sometimes I have a hard time getting epic cards than I do legends because there's just so many of them.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think I'll give it a try. 3/4 is a pretty solid stat line too, even for.
The problem is, like you said, it's vulnerable to every single hate card.
Yeah, that's the clear weakness. Is like it dies to crab. It dies to literally anything.
To Dragon Slayer.
Dragon Slayer.
You're gonna lose to every tilted opponent on ladder, basically, right?
You can't even miss them. Like it's like for sure they're getting value.
At least it dodges the Eater of Secrets, so checks out to me.
And ooze. That's about the two things.
You
It
can't
misses.
lose him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weapon too.
The text underneath should just also read Eater of Secrets, Acidic Swamp Ooze, and Black Knight also destroy this minion. Like,
Exactly. They could call it the Hated. Yeah, that'd be a perfect name for it. All right, next one we got here is a warrior, and it's a 2 mana. It's called Fluffy Wasp of all things, which is
Powerful.
interesting. And then it's a rare card, 1/3 beast. Rush has +3 attack when damaged.
So it can basically on turn 2 attack into a 1/1. You can just like they play Alley Cat and you're like, bam, kill your Alley Cat. I have a 1/2.
No, you don't have a 1/2. You have a 4/2.
Oh yeah, you have a 4/2 after they kill you kill their Alley Cat. Powerful. Then they go coin an animal companion. It's not Leok. Trade with Misha. Powerful.
That's like so specific. There's like a lot of other things where it trades better than that.
No, there's no 1 health minions in the game.
Yeah, this is the problem. When I talked about this card today, is you really have to think about the actual games. You can't just look at the card, wow, you damage something, and then it's wow, so powerful. You have to think about the card that are played because that's the game we are playing. Like, what does it trade into?
I mean, it does pretty well. I mean, I think it does okay against Paladin, or at least Silverhand Paladin.
No.
Why wouldn't
it's
it?
only Righteous Protector, and then
those are like
they
very
can,
common.
and then they
one
play a
drops.
weapon and kill it. Yeah, but it's not good.
That's
it's really
one class out of 9 in one decade of 18.
yeah, sure.
And it's only
Hey, 2/1s. There's Cobalt Librarians to kill. Like, you know.
Powerful.
Shit. Man.
No,
I don't know what type of warrior deck I would play it in,
I
but
was
I'm just
losing
saying.
so many games because I couldn't kill that Cobalt Librarian on turn 1, man. So many.
Apparently the name isn't really Fluffy Wasp. Oh, maybe it's Red Band Wasp. Okay, I don't know. Somebody was saying it's not the actual name of it, but
if this had +3 attack on the rush, it would be so much better. If this could kill, if this was like an Alexstrasza's champion, and it could actually kill something on turn 2, it would be.
If you're saying like the first turn you play it against +2 attack, or whatever, right?
Then it
I guaranteed that you get that. Yeah.
Like,
the problem is
if you could kill a Knife Juggler with this, obviously it's insane. Yeah. But you can't kill a Knife Juggler with this.
And that's the thing. Warrior has the most tools.
Sucks. Yeah.
It's kind of like similar to the Defile minion. Warrior has the best tools in the game to deal 1 damage to a dude.
Well, we can't even kill a totem. That's pretty.
Oh man, you kill the shaman, you're like rolls 1/1. You're just like, oh, get wrecked, idiot! I got the Fluffy Wasp.
I got the 1 in 4 roll there. Yeah.
The thing is, but if you think about, I play Whirlwind and stuff like that for the synergies. That's not the patron.
Definitely not doing that. Gosh,
that's not the patron. This is cool story, bro.
I still don't know what kind of warrior I would even play it in. Like, there's no mid-range warrior right now. It's like,
why is it a beast? Is the further question.
well, yeah, they have to add beasts like everywhere. I feel like everybody has to have like 2 beasts right now, like every class. So, I mean, why does Mage have beasts in it? All right, so doesn't make.
It can't go
sense.
face, man. If this could go face, different story.
Yeah, that's true.
This was a 1 free charge.
Even if it went face.
No.
If this even went face, like, would you play it?
You play like Death Spite and go face, get him.
Okay.
Probably still not good.
I know. I'm not even sure. That's still strong enough to play. But okay, so these are the cards that were announced today.
I haven't seen these yet.
Yeah, these are pretty interesting. A Clockwork Automaton. 5 mana, 4/4 mech. We're starting to see mechs again. That's kind of interesting. Double the. It's a common card. Double the damage and healing of your hero power. So the body sucks clearly, but the question is are any of the hero powers going to be powerful enough from a damage and a healing standpoint that this could be cool enough to play 1 or maybe even 2 of them?
I think we're looking at an odds versus evens card for sure.
Ooh. Oh,
With
maybe.
the clockwork.
Yeah. Because if you have an upgraded hero power to start with, right? All of a sudden playing this becomes a lot better.
Oh, that's
but
true.
you put play it for 7 mana. This card will, so first of all, it never sticks.
Is there one?
It never sticks. So for 7 mana, it's awful. Sure. I really can't see this in any deck.
Sure.
That's a good thought, though. That's a good thought.
I think it's definitely. Whenever the card says hero power, so my mind went to hero power. Like, I tend to agree with you that it's like a very slow play, but
it doesn't, like, Warrior is the only one that has like a good hero power, but it doesn't double the armor. But even if it would double the armor,
this is nuts of Gul'dan, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, let's think about all the possible hero powers.
You haven't won the game already when Gul'dan comes down. You need to suck someone for 6 and heal for freaking 12, man. Bam.
Dude, you just. Yeah, you play this, do 6 to his face, heal for 6. Play another one.
Copying Velen when you're playing when you're in Gul'dan mode is sweet, and that's exactly what this is, right? It's a 5-mana Velen.
Basically, it's basically a 5-mana Velen. That's a good point.
So, like, any deck that would want to run Velen, you can think of this, right? I don't know.
Oh, so I don't know. What about Priest? Yeah.
They already have Velen.
I know, but this is 2 mana cheaper. This is 2 mana cheaper. That's a big deal.
Yeah,
2 mana is cheaper.
Way better Velen, right?
Yeah, you don't even need Elemental to pull off combo. Like, it's
the way I see it is you're saving 2 mana on Velen. So wherever you want to use that, right?
Right. So you get smites and Mind Blasts and I don't know. That's kind of interesting.
No, you can't Mind Blast. It doesn't. It's not spell.
It's only hero power.
Oh, it's only hero power.
It's so bad.
Oh, it's only hero power. Right. Yeah. So that's that's not good. That's not good.
It's good of Gul'dan.
That's not
good
of
Gul'dan.
Yeah.
It's only Gul'dan. You already won anyways. The problem is get to Gul'dan.
Yeah.
Then you like a 5-mana 4/4 will not help you to get to Gul'dan.
Dude, I'm gonna get in Gul'dan mode and kill all your 6/6s, man.
So it literally it only works for Gul'dan and
for one turn.
And then obviously Priest or just basic Priest. And Hunter.
They probably concede before.
Hunter. I mean, it only works for a few heroes anyway.
Is this permanent or as long as this guy is alive?
It's when he's in play. Yeah.
People say Taunt Warrior. No, it doesn't. It doesn't even work for
no, it doesn't.
Taunt Warrior. You can't get. This is like damage and healing, not shield.
Yeah.
So
no, it works in Taunt Warrior. You shoot for 16.
Okay.
Right, the warrior quest, right? You finish the warrior quest, and you deal. You rag Grocery, right? You deal 8.
Taunt warrior.
And
that's
now
what he means.
You do like 16.
You mean quest warrior?
Powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. OTK combo.
Oh,
that's pretty powerful. And then you look at the card right next to it, right? Look at the card next to it, dude.
Yeah, doing 16.
If you can if your one guy sticks, the next turn you get to do 16 damage twice
to a Silverhand recruit. That's like awesome, baby.
Wow, 40 mana combo. Easy.
Oh god. Okay.
The only issue of this is we're playing Taunt War.
Got it. Yeah.
I that we have infinite mana, of course.
Shooting for 16. Like if Taunt War is shot for 16, right?
God.
That would be a tier 1 deck for sure. Undeniable.
Except for there's no other good taunts that would survive long enough for that. Jeez.
It's undeniable. If you double from 8 to 16, that deck is absolutely broken.
Okay. All right. So the next card we got today was a 3-mana 3/4. 3/4 is just the standard now, guys. It's like 3/4 and whatever text you want to put on it. Blackwalled Pixie, common card, battle cry, refresher, hero power. So kind of like a Beardo type of thing, but of course, you can only refresh it one time.
Yeah. I think they made a huge mistake with Beardo in the first place. Like OTK Paladin actually being a deck is, I don't think, good. Their whole philosophy has been nerfing all of the decks that one-shot people. So why is this OTK Paladin a thing, right? So I think this is a fine replacement for Beardo, where it's like, oh wait, well he accumulated 2 2/2s and now he can win because of this, which is fine. But you don't want one-turn kill from hands ever. That's what Beardo was. And this is just a slightly worse version of Beardo that has some functionality, which is good.
Okay, yeah.
It's not a good card. It's not a good card.
It's not a good card. Okay. Any other way to abuse The hero power here.
Like Taunt Warrior, man.
Yeah, it's Taunt Warrior when you want. This is an actual good healing card for Warrior because it gives you like decent stats. Like, if you can tank up twice, it's a very good heal bot, right? It would be a 7 mana heal bot, like a 3/4, 8 armor. Armor is better than heal.
I mean, way back when in the Justicar era, there was that 2/3 guy that allowed you to hero power twice in the turn, right? I played him sometimes. It wasn't good though.
No, it wasn't good either. Yeah, it definitely wasn't.
And a 2/3 for 2 is kind of similar-ish in that sense to a 3/4 for 3, right?
Anything good with like Jaina or? I'm trying to think of some of the other ones.
I think these cards become relevant when you try to build these decks. What people don't realize in standard, the card pool is just so small. Whenever you try to build like a Reno deck, in the beginning, it's just so hard because you don't have good cards. And I feel like you will just at some point go to the collection. You just don't have playable cards, and then you play an odd deck, and then maybe this card is like good for an odd deck because you just have nothing better.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably some other spider tanks you can also include in your deck.
There's plenty of 3/4s to choose from. I think you'll be fine.
Whichever one you have,
Exactly.
but then you open in your packs, man.
Right. Okay. All right. We got 3
Spider
of them
takes
left.
those.
Let's kind of look at all of them at once here. Okay, we've got 3 of them here. All right, we've got our. That's a rogue card, right? So we got a rogue card, 4 mana. It's called Wanted with an exclamation mark. And it's epic spell. Deal 3 damage to a minion. If that kills it, add a coin to your hand. What?
So I was talking with Drunk Firebat last night. And I just saw this card on Twitter, and I like read it to him, and he was like, "Wow, this is insane." Now, Drunk Firebat was not able to explain as to why he thought it was insane, but Drunk Firebat's instinct was that this card was good.
I can't even believe it. Wow. Okay. Okay. So deal 3 damage. We've got spells that are 2 mana that deal 3 damage, and then
we have 2 mana spells that deal 4 damage.
We have 5 mana cards that give you a 3/4 body and kill any minion.
Yeah. We've got 0 mana cards that give you a coin.
You're comparing it. You're comparing it to Flanking Strike, right? Basically, for 4 mana.
Flanking
and instead of having a 3/3 in play, you get a counterfeit coin.
Wow,
that's much worse.
And if you play Spell Hunter,
some people even cut Flanking Strike.
I'm not going to be able to explain it, but I'm going to go on the instinct of Drunk Firebat and say this card's going to be god tier.
Tell you what, man, when you get this epic, you're not going to be happy. Holy
You have
smokes.
to craft it twice. It's wanted.
It's wanted.
Bam!
Yeah, this
is another great ability.
I know, this is one of the worst cards. I have to say, this is one of the worst cards I've seen so far in this set. So I'm actually just surprised.
Flavor, 4 mana,
3 mana? I didn't even know 3 mana. I think it would have been cool maybe to see at 2 mana.
3 mana is fine, probably.
You wouldn't be played, right?
For 3 mana? Because it has an upside, right? There's a lot of stuff to kill for 3 mana.
Yes, you would play it for it.
Yeah, and then you can coin out the Wild Spine for free for sure, yeah.
Okay.
4 mana is just
Yeah, 4 mana definitely puts it out of range. It's just hard to swallow playing it for 4 mana. All right, so next thing we got Mage, Vex Crow.
It's very similar, by the way, to the Shaman. Like, you don't want to deal 3 damage for 4 mana. It's just, you don't. It's not even the mana cost for the card. It's like on turn 4, you don't want to deal 3 damage.
Yeah, no, that's true too. Okay, so this is a 4 mana beast for a mage, 3/3. Whenever you cast a spell, summon a random 2-costed minion. All right, so for you to get value, you either have to have a coin on turn 4, or
your 3/3 has to not die.
Yeah, which is or you have to play it on like turn 5 or 6, right?
But you can play Karen on turn 6. or you can also play like the 5/5 that summons a 3-drop on turn 6.
Okay, all right. So
let's move on.
Let's move on. There's only one.
That card's not good.
I want to talk about this card because it's so much fun. Like to talk about how bad this card is. So on top of it, the worst possible mana slot for a random created minion is 2 mana. Because it goes from a 1/1 to a Doomsayer. Imagine you play this, you do your fancy combo, you get a full board and summon a Doomsayer.
Hey, you can get a Dirty Rat, man. Dirty Rat's pretty nice.
No, Dirty Rat's rotating, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Dirty Rat.
But Doomsayer stays in the game forever.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna get you cast a spell, and then you're gonna have a 3/3 and a 2/1 on the board, and you'll be like, wow, this is bad.
You invested so much into it. You had to frostbolt face it.
This was balanced like circa 2016. It's just not going to happen. Yeah.
You're gonna play it on turn 4. It's not gonna die, and your opponent's gonna cast Call Arms, and you're gonna be like, "Wow, I'm dead.
Why is
what am I doing with my life?"
Why is this a card now? Like, what I hate is when class cards become filler cards. A lot of these class cards are filler cards, and that makes me upset.
Are supposed to be a bit more powerful. I think that could have been a decent rogue card, maybe.
Yeah, a rogue card would have made more sense.
It could have been like a weird version of Violet Teacher. Or a high rolly Violet Teacher. Like
Mage doesn't
have cheap spells.
Preparation and coins. And
maybe if Wanted was a mage card, Vex Crow was a rogue card. I don't know. But all right. Well, moving on. Last card here, Scale Worm. We got another 4-mana card. 4 mana has been very nice today. 4/4 Beast. It's a rare card. Battle cry. If you're holding a dragon, gain +1 attack and rush.
So let's go back to the 5/8 rush guy that we saw earlier.
Okay, let me bring it up. Let me bring it up.
Right.
Muck Hunter,
they're almost
right? Yeah,
they're almost the same card, except Scale Worm's kind of just a less high rolly version of it, right? Is if you subtract the 2 ones, right? So you have a 5/4 on the left, but this one costs 4, and you also have a 5/4, right?
Yeah.
So they're basically the same card, except Scale Worm costs 1 less mana. So Scale Worm is good, is what I'm saying. Really good.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
They're the same card, except one costs 1 less. That's all it is.
Okay. I mean, I see where you're going with that. It's really good. I mean, there's a conditional here. There's you have to be holding a dragon.
Yeah, and the dragons rotate out, and the dragons are not playable anymore.
Yeah.
Sure.
So,
and then the spirit, if you read this card as a 5/4 beast that has rush, not ignore the dragon part of it. The card.
Yeah, I mean, you would never play this in a non-dragon deck. So I guess assuming
but the thing
that's
is,
the case.
This card itself had to be a dragon at least.
Yeah.
Because
if it was a dragon, it would be very insane. I'm just saying there's.
If it was a dragon, that would be.
Let's see the rest of the set and see if there's any cool dragons that come.
There's got to be, right? There's got to be.
Everyone chill.
There's no way.
Relax.
There's no way they wouldn't replace some dragons. So. Okay, so 5/4 beast with rush, all right.
But if I see something for 4 mana, I think about Call to Arms. We have to deal with it.
God, right.
A 5/4 rush for 4 is good.
Yeah. All right. It definitely will trade into anything.
Like I said at the start of the show, like if they have like a rush card that's just like a 3/3 rush for 3, and I said that would be insane, right?
Yeah.
And this meets exactly this criteria of being a fairly statted minion with rush. Oh, that's a dragon card.
But there's no more dragons, so.
I would have liked the 4/5 with rush though.
It'd be slightly better,
yeah.
But still.
Yeah.
Okay. Fairly statted minion with rush is insane. Because it meets that criteria of being able to value trade something, staying alive, and being on the board, which gives you a tempo advantage.
I think right now, for 4 mana, you have to play in AoE and not kill 1 minion. I think everything you have to play like Dustbreakers on 4 and Hellfires. That's like the meta we have.
Yeah.
You have to AoE on 4 and not trade for 1 minion.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's why for me it feels like a bad card. Because you just have to go AoE into AoE into AoE into AoE.
Sort of.
Because people don't play 1 minion anymore. People do broken stuff. People go Hunter Spellstones, right? People go like Call to Arms. It's like only those type of decks play curve deck? Like what other curve?
I'm pretty happy hitting my 5/4 rush into your war later.
Dude, as long as you get to turn 6, you can play Spiteful Guard. It's all good, man. It's like totally cool.
If it works that way, great. Let's play some fair Hearthstone.
Exactly.
We play 1 minion at a time. Feels good, man.
Well, that's the last card we had today, but you know, I think we're rounding out the end of the show. We've got maybe one last question, but before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to our patrons, because you are the guys that support the show and, you know, keep us doing it. So thank you so much to all the patrons for doing that. Go to patreon.com/valuetown if you want to make a pledge today. And quick shout out to all our patrons, or at least some of our patrons: Mike T, our legendary producer, as always, and then Ray Dan, Bob K, Gary D, Vince F, Alex F, Bruce W, Michael O, Graham S, Cameron M, Eric L, Cody K, Eric L, and Sasha G, just to name a few. You guys are the best. And of course, our show's always, you know, of course, or it's not always sponsored. It's actually an HSReplay.net show. So, you know, go check out the website. It's amazing. And, you know, get the best deck. Find out what the best deck is for you at the rank.
As a professional player, I will advocate for HSReplay.net.
That's right. That's right.
I use it for all my tournament preparation.
We didn't even pay him. This is like amazing.
I use it for all my tournament preparation. Right. I have the premium stuff because it is definitely worth $5 to have. Like everything that I used to do by hand on paper or on Excel sheets, and used to spend like 20 hours a day just like right before a tournament trying to get this information. And they do it all for you. That's amazing. Yeah. How far we've come.
There's a lot coming too, guys. I'm like, I can't wait to. I mean, we did collection singing just like a week ago, and there's a lot coming soon. So I can't wait to eventually be able to tell you guys about announcement, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah, go check that out, HSReplay.net, and find out what the best deck is for you at your rank. All right, Q&A. We've got Ahmed N. He's got a good question here. I just want to get this in there before we take off. What rotating card didn't get its chance to shine? And his choice was Dispatch Kodo. I think it's a good one. So what card just never, you know, probably had...
I'm just not sure what's rotating. So
okay, let me see if I can
very bad in overall
Hearthstone
knowledge.
A good way to do this. Let me see. So I will knock out all of these. I'll bring it up in HS Replay. In the meantime, anybody know?
I have no idea. I just don't know what's rotating. So.
Okay, so let me bring these up.
It's especially the question is like, what's rotating that wasn't played? So it's like, it's kind of hard to think about in that sense.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it has to be like Shaman and Hunter. Because Shaman and Hunter, you know, were like the weakest classes.
Jade Claw's got a time to shine, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got, let's see, I think I only are showing spells here. Okay, not spells. Okay, here we go. All right, so here's a list. All right, we got Mistress. These are definitely, the ones that are at the top here are definitely not the ones that are like, let's go to the bottom. Let's just go to the bottom.
I would only look at Shaman and Hunter. Right. Is Knuckles rotating? Then Knuckles.
Which one?
Knuckles.
You think Knuckles had a time to shine?
No, he didn't have a time to shine.
Oh, Knuckles. Yeah.
Are we talking about the cards that
didn't
have
a
time?
Rat Pack.
Rat Pack was all the hype when it was printed.
Yeah.
Rat Pack was highly rated by almost everyone, and it just never materialized into a card that was.
It is a good card. I think. Well, it required like hand buffing. It required that
more
terrible hand buffing. This card, man, like people barely even use Blast Crystal Potion.
It destroys one of your mana crystals.
I know, but it kills anything. It's like crazy. Let's see. Embrace the Shadow, Shifting Shade. I don't know. These are all pretty good, or at least had something.
Actually, I'm kind of glad Cabal Trafficker made an appearance very late into the meta.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe that's where my vote goes. Like Frozen and Dog brought this card to WSG. They both did well with it. I think this is a card that flew under the radar, and like maybe Frozen Dog had it right. Maybe the proper Control Warlock build involved the copy of Cabal Trafficker.
Okay. Yeah. It's great value, that's for sure. It's good value. I always like Scaled Nightmare, but it's just like Priest is just too good against it. Gotta be something here. I think Dispatch Kodo was a pretty good pick for him. That card has a lot of potential.
Firebat was also not really good, if you think about it.
Firebat?
Like, it's like Hunter needed a 1-drop, and it was like the disappointment for Hunter.
He really didn't end up being the leper gnome everyone needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. All right, we're getting closer to actually having Kylie Grandmother. That would definitely. That was. Good. I mean, we're trying to find good cards. Yeah, we're trying to find good cards that just never got a chance, really, right?
I feel like some of these cards just like that one was a great example. It's just like hate cards that just never let it be in the game, because we've had a priest meta for. How long have we had a priest meta for now?
For long. Like, remember the day? I don't even remember the days where we used to complain about priest, because it's been ever since Operative came out. It's been good, like super good. Like
I remember rewatching the first World Championship of like Artosis, or it might have been Fight Night, and looking back at the priest,
like
looking back at the priest days from there. I remember watching a priest against combo druid, and the priest had like Blade Master and Akanai.
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
He didn't play a card till turn 8 because he was just waiting for a circle.
It was a Moz, right? And then he just like, oh no, okay, it wasn't a Moz.
You're just waiting for a circle. He just never played anything. Those were the days of Priest, man. People had no game understanding.
Jeez, all right. Yeah. So I don't know. To answer your question, I guess your pick was. What was your pick?
I'm going with Cabal Trafficker.
Cabal Trafficker. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I don't know. I think that's.
Wow, Ragnarok's Light Lords in so few decks.
I know. Well, I mean,
he did shine. He did shine.
Yeah, it had definitely its moments for sure. So
I think it just got like in the decks where it would be played, like Lich King is just such a better version.
I mean, look at Faceless. Look how low Faceless is.
Well, that's current, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Faceless had his time to shine.
Definitely had his time.
He pounded the crap out of people. 7 damage at a time for a few months, man.
Yeah. All right. I guess mine would be the Rat then. The Rat Pack guy. I think that's about the only one. I mean, a lot of these just... I don't know. I feel like we use... Yeah. Prince Malgazar at the very bottom. Wow.
It's actually amazing how many of these cards I've played in meme decks. Like,
just to try it out,
like,
right? That's.
I'm looking at this like list of cards, and I'm pretty sure like I've actually included like all but like 5 of them in my decks in the past. Like,
I think
I haven't included like Shatter.
That's a good question.
I played a lot of these. Holy.
I think the only thing I have not played. I think I might have only played I Know a Guy like one time ever. Yeah, I try all the bad cards too. So
I'm looking at this list, and I think like maybe Midnight Drake haven't included the 1/4 Cthulhu.
Oh yeah, Midnight.
And then you look at the rest of this list, and I think I've played all of these cards.
Well, Midnight Dragon I've gotten from Librarian.
Yeah. I've never played it.
Yeah, I've never added it to my deck.
But the rest of it, I'm pretty sure I've played like almost all of it.
All right, anything up here, and then we'll call it. From a Chieftain. Getaway Kodo? I don't know. Yeah, I think all of these things have been played plenty. So
it's run its course. Time to turn the page.
It's time, man. We're down to the last few days, man.
Yeah. And you can go F yourself, Mr. Barnes. We will not be missed.
Oh God, Barnes, not the star of the show anymore. All right, well, this was good. This was great. We're gonna have a lot more cards in the next week. Oh my God, Gaara, I think we're gonna have like 50 cards next week. We're gonna have to see. But Purple, is awesome having you go through at least the first 20-25 with you today, and I always love your perspective on the cards. It's always great. We know we're nothing held back here from you, so good stuff. Any shout outs you want to do?
Strong opinion, Wild.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what makes for good chess.
Shout out my Team Gamers Origin. Just picked up Gallon. Gonna be competing with him and Chinoise for HCT.
Nice.
Starting next month. Pretty excited to have a pretty decent team. I'm all friends with and happy with. Mm-hmm. Looking forward to the HCT season. And that's about it. Shout out my fans watching my stream every day.
What's your stream again?
Twitch TV/purple_HS.
All right, cool.
It's very hard to get purple, and that was a name scooped up on Twitch.
It's because of Twitch, man.
Probably a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. They probably just locked that. I bet that might even be a reserved one, just because they always have purple, whatever. Gaara, how about you? Shout
outs to my stream. A lot of people from my stream are watching this podcast as well.
Yay.
Twitch TV/Garapist Shaman. I might change it. We'll see the name.
With Shaman, is that disappointing for you already? Like that you're gonna actually change it? It's like I'm like Gaara never plays Shaman.
Oh, dude, currently I'm probably in such a better Shaman form than you are. I've played a bunch of Shaman these last.
I've been
playing
Shaman.
the Jade element, mostly Jade, yeah, the Jade Shaman recently too, yeah.
And it's just just like they're pushing Shaman to be this RNG class, and I don't really like it. And shout out to the viewers, the listeners, and
cool.
Yeah, good show.
Yeah, definitely good show. Oh, one thing I forgot to ask you guys: did you guys play any Pirate Warrior in the last few days? What was up with that? Like, why was there Pirate Warrior all of a sudden at the top?
Pirate Warrior beats Priest, and people when you the first guy that did it had enormous success because you mulligan your cards because you think it's Dead Man's Warrior. So as Warlock, you're gonna go ahead and keep your double Mountain Giant opening hand, and you're gonna die on turn 5.
That's that makes sense.
It is so polarized to Dead Man's Warrior without being a powerful deck that mulligans will be so wrong that you're gonna just get percentages.
That's crazy. That's funny. That's why you gotta love the meta sometimes. It's just like these little moments, these phases in the meta that they're just like are hilarious to see. But no, I'll round things out.
Beast Priest,
that's the biggest thing, right? Anyways, thanks two of you guys for doing the show. It's been a lot of fun today. Everybody for watching. Sorry we had a little bit of sound issues. Just we had some mic issues. Just that Purple kept telling me about. I just refused. I refused to listen, and then we had to make some changes during the show. So. But in the end, we ended up getting clear sound, so really good there. But follow the channel. You can follow this channel, obviously, by clicking the follow button, the Twitter channel, ValueTown @GG, and myself at ChanManV. And you can find the VODs at youtube.com/ChanManV. And then you can find our podcast on iTunes and Google Play and SoundCloud.com/ChanManV. So like the show, leave a nice review for us. 5-star helps people find it when they're looking for Hearthstone podcasts. But that's going to be it, guys, for this week. So, for Purple, Gaara, and myself, ChanManV, we'll see you next time.